NASCAR is in the spotlight this morning as it heads into another weekend of racing with fans in attendance, faces blowback over banning the Confederate flag. Some 5,000 people will get to watch Sunday's race in Talladega 1 week after NASCAR became the first major U.S. sport to let fans attend a live event since the coronavirus shutdown. With us now is Daryl Wolfe, NASCAR's Executive Vice President and Chief Operations and Sales Officer. Daryl, good to see you this morning. What should fans expect in the lead up to this race?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Love to chat NASCAR this morning. We're excited about this weekend. We're back at Talladega Superspeedway. It's one of our premier tracks. We did, to your point, introduce last weekend limited fans at Homestead Miami Speedway. Obviously, very much in lockstep with local and federal and state health officials, public officials, really developing our protocols. And we were very, very happy of how things went Homestead Miami Speedway. To your point, this weekend, we're excited about the Geico 500 on Saturday. We're going to welcome back up to a maximum of 5,000 fans, again, with the same protocols and procedures going through that process. The fans want to come back. I personally believe we have the best fans in all sports. The fans want to come back. They've told us that. We want the fans back, but we want to do it in a very measured, methodical, very safe, and very responsible way.
Daryl, I know that one of the key elements of your safety protocols is no fans on the infield. And that's been a really important part of the fan experience for a long time. How do you have races without fans camped out there? How might the energy be different, even for the drivers?
Well, that's a really good question. I appreciate you saying that. You're right. One of the staples of a NASCAR experience is access, correct? Your fans get up close and personal with our competitors and teams, et cetera. Having said that, though, one of the things that we have to be very cautious about is the industry itself, the competition. We want to make sure they're compartmentalized. So when you think about campers or fans or the industry, we have to be very, very careful not to commingle that. We want all the fans to come back. We'd love to have tens of thousands of fans come back. But again, we have to be very slow, very methodical, very measured. So the industry will be compartmentalized in the infield for the time being. Eventually, we want to get back to where we can commingle these different segments of the kind of the race day experience. But for now, all the fans in limited numbers will be outside the venue in the grandstand, going through the safety protocols that we've implemented.
Daryl, Dan Roberts here. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
During this time, because you guys were able to get up and running before a lot of other sports, and you've done a good job with that, I'm wondering if you have done anything differently to try and really attract new fans, because there's a vacuum right now. Personally, I'm a good example. I have been watching every NASCAR race, and before this year, I was not much of a NASCAR fan, and now I feel like I am. And along with that, we, of course, at Yahoo Finance covered the news of Bubba Wallace's change that he brought to the sport and banning Confederate flags. And of course, on some sides, there's blowback to that. And I'm wondering if you also worry about the impact that will have on fans. Do you think on balance that will bring NASCAR more fans, or that you might have some existing fans who are angry by that?
I appreciate the question. There's a lot there. I'll try to take one at a time. First, we are proud of what we've been able to accomplish. So when the pandemic hit and most, if not all, U.S. sports and live entertainment shut down in this country, we had iRacing. So we're really proud that iRacing came back, allowed our fans to engage. We're also, to your point, the first major sport to come back competing. That was 6 weeks ago at Darlington, and we had a number of safety protocols that we implemented there. Kind of the first sport to kind of come back in competition, be on live TV. And now we're the first sport to come back in regards to having very, very slow, measured, introducing fans back into grandstands. Again, very, very proud of that accomplishment. To your point about the announcement, it's been a big couple of weeks. So really proud of the sport. We made the announcement around the Confederate flag. We had a moment of listening in Atlanta 2 weeks ago. I think that was a powerful moment for the sport. Really proud of Bubba Wallace and the way he's handled a very delicate, sensitive situation. At the end of the day, the bottom line is this. We want our sport and our events to be welcoming to all and inclusive to all. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And really proud of the sport, how it's handled the situation over the last couple of weeks and how we're going to handle it in the future as well.
Daryl, my day started with reading a pretty powerful interview that Bubba Wallace did in the New York Times this morning. And my takeaway was, wow, the sport has a diversity problem. Do you think, you're a veteran of this industry, do you think the problem, despite the changes you have made over the past month, does the sport itself have a diversity problem?
I'm really proud of the efforts we've done over many, many years. We have a Drive for Diversity program in regards to the employee base, as well as competition and the drivers competing on the racetrack itself. But like any sport, any industry, Any business out there, you're always constantly striving for improvement. And that's exactly what we're going to do as a sport. When you look at the dialogue, not only Bubba Wallace and what he's done, you mentioned the interviews, and he's under intense scrutiny right now. And he's done a wonderful job talking to this issue. But listen to the other drivers and competitors and how they're educating and listening and making sure they have dialogue and transparent dialogue across not only the industry, across partners, across the fan base. I'm really encouraged of the direction that we're on right now.
Dan, you might be on mute. Just even going forward too, what do you expect from attendance? We are in a recession here in the U.S. Do you expect attendance to be at the same levels you have historically seen?
It's a good question as well. Right now, we're really going state to state. Obviously, the guidelines, restrictions, the local restrictions, and we're in constant dialogue with local authorities, obviously governor's offices. How we're going to be able to really address attendance is going to vary state by state. Right now, we're going kind of week by week, so 1,000 to 5,000. We have some other events coming up where attendance is going to be allowed. We're going to make sure we do a lot of analysis on what is the right way to maximum capacity that we want to address there. But in the future, we want to get all of our fans back. That's the ultimate goal. How soon that's going to happen, really can't tell, because again, this does change on a week and a monthly basis.
All right, we'll leave it there. Daryl Wolfe, NASCAR's Executive Vice President and Chief Operations and Sales Officer. Enjoy the race this weekend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate having me on, guys.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.